Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2023 or Pokemon Horizons the Series anime episode review. This time I am talking about episode 40, so let's get to it. In this episode, the Rising Boat Tacklers repaired the damage Earthworm did to the airship. Tink-a-Tink adorably rushes into town to get materials for more hammers, forcing Dot and Quaxley to chase her. Meanwhile, Liko gives Athena and the Terapagos a bath, something that proves to be fun for all of them. Liko offers to give Sprigatito a bath as well, but she refuses, though it's unclear if she's just being fickle as usual or it's the classic cats hate water. A house in the distance soon catches Sprigatito's attention. Roy then appears to challenge Liko to a battle. Sprigatito and Fuecoco face off in an even battle. Unfortunately, a Leaf Age from Sprigatito is avoided by Fuecoco and it's about to hit Athena and the Terapagos. Thankfully, Liko shields them, though sadly it's at the cost of her own well-being, since she takes a tumble landing on her wrist, hurting it. They all go see Molly so Liko can get treatment. Fortunately, it turns out that it's just a sprain. While Roy is happy that it's nothing serious, the Pokemon are still worried. But Liko assures them that she's fine. This works on Terapagos and Athena, but not on Sprigatito, who clearly takes it pretty hard, believing that she's to blame for hurting Liko. In her dejection, Sprigatito leaves the airship and heads towards the house she saw earlier. Thankfully, Ludlow sees where she's heading. After getting her sprain treated, Liko realizes that Sprigatito is gone. Ludlow soon tells her where Sprigatito went. Determined to find her partner, Liko makes her way to the mysterious house, though not before leaving Athena in charge of Terapagos. Hilariously, while Athena adorably flexes like "I got this," Terapagos disappears in a flash. Meanwhile, Sprigatito reaches the house, which is clearly cat-themed. Conveniently, the front gate is open, so she waltzes right in. Liko soon reaches the house as well, and she also waltzes right in. She looks around for a while, and she soon finds Sprigatito. However, it turns out that she got the wrong Sprigatito. Several more of them soon appear, as does the owner of the place, who Liko apologizes to since she is trespassing. The lady reveals that she knows Liko. They sit down to talk. The lady says that she's a breeder and the caretaker of cat Pokemon, and she introduces herself as Marnia, a fitting name considering that Nya is the sound cats make in Japanese. It's also part of Sprigatito's Japanese name, Niauha. Marnia soon explains how and why she knows Liko. Turns out that Liko Sprigatito was born and raised here. Marnia took care of her, and she works with the school Liko attends to provide them with partner Pokemon for new students. Before classes began, Liko had an interview with her teacher where she was introduced to several potential partner Pokemon, including Sprigatito. Marnia was there, and she remembers Liko because Sprigatito clearly took an interest in Liko, so Marnia knew that Liko would be the perfect partner for Sprigatito. The conversation soon takes a sour turn when Marnia says that when Pokemon that were raised here return, it means that they have decided to leave their partners. Liko adamantly declares that she and the Sprigatito will not stop being partners. To prove this, she decides to find the Sprigatito. She soon does since she knows her partner that well. However, Sprigatito won't give her the time of day. Liko does not give up though. She follows Sprigatito all over the place, trying and saying anything she can think of to make Sprigatito pay attention to her. But nothing works. In the end, she tries to force Sprigatito to talk to her, which backfires when Sprigatito refuses to settle down and she scratches Liko. leaving her dejected. Marnia invites Liko to partake in some tea and snacks, hoping that this will cheer her up. I love that even her teacups are cat-themed. Marnia soon reveals Sprigatito's backstory. She was always by herself, refusing to even play with the other Sprigatito. This all changed when one day, one of the other Sprigatito fell off the roof. Liko Sprigatito saved it using a stronger than normal leaf age, revealing that she's always had a special leaf age, something Liko realizes. Marnia concluded that Sprigatito must have a knack for battle. And interesting thought, since it might mean that Liko will have to get more serious about battling. So because of her stronger than normal leaf age, the other Sprigatito soon came to admire her, and thus she was no longer alone. Unfortunately, this came to an end when a Spidops trapped the other Sprigatito with its webs, forcing Liko Sprigatito to help them. Sadly, unable to control her strength, she ended up hurting her friends. While it was nothing serious, the experience was enough to make them fear her, so they distanced themselves from her, and thus she ended up alone again. Something she embraced since she refused to hurt someone precious to her ever again. Which calls into question why she scratched Liko earlier. I guess we can chalk this up to reflex under duress. Realizing that Sprigatito is just afraid that she will hate and leave her as well, Liko tracks down her partner once more. She again forcefully restrains Sprigatito, which almost leads to another scratch. Though Liko says that she does not care, Sprigatito can scratch her all she wants and she still won't hate or abandon her. Liko then says that ever since they met, they have been through so much together. Scary and exciting things, good and bad things. And throughout it all, she always knew that everything would be fine and she was able to enjoy herself because Sprigatito was with her. And she hopes that this will continue to be the case. Sprigatito finally understands how much she means to Liko, and that she will never forsake her. She places her paw on Liko's face like she did so many episodes ago to show her love. Their touching, endearing moment is soon interrupted when Terapagos and Athena, who followed Liko and Terapagos respectively, scream. When Liko and Sprigatito and Marnia arrive at the scene, they find that Spidops, presumably the same one, has trapped Terapagos and Athena. Liko and Sprigatito want to help them, but Sprigatito is afraid that she will once again hurt her friends. But Liko encourages her, which allows her to fire a leaf age that curves to hit only Spidops, who is sent packing. Just as I was thinking in this moment that this was a perfect chance to have Sprigatito learn a new move, Marnia reveals that this was not leaf age, it was magical leaf. Liko and Sprigatito's bond is what allowed them to bend, literally, things to their will. The episode then cuts to the airship. Liko and Roy resume their battle. Like before, the battle is even until Sprigatito gets ready to fire off what Roy and Fuecoco think is leaf age. So Fuecoco is ready to avoid it like before. But to their surprise, Sprigatito uses magical leaf, which Fuecoco is unable to dodge no matter what he does. Fitting since in the games, magical leaf cannot miss, which also explains why earlier it curved to find its mark. Unable to avoid the attack, Fuecoco takes a direct hit, which knocks him out. Everyone is amazed by Liko and Sprigatito, with Dot saying that Liko got stronger yet again. The episode ends with Liko and Sprigatito celebrating their victory and likely the strengthening of their bond, and the fact that they now have a new move in their arsenal. I guess you can't be a Pokemon anime main protagonist without at least one episode where your partner will seemingly leave you to be with a bunch of others from its species. This episode was basically Pikachu's goodbye all over again. In fact, it even has a similar name, and to no one's surprise, there was no goodbye/farewell in the end. Also, I find it fun and interesting that Pikachu's goodbye was episode 39, while Farewell Sprigatito is episode 40. They almost made them be the same in another way. They were just one off. Parallels aside though, I think that this episode was wonderful in terms of story. Sprigatito's backstory makes perfect sense, since it accurately paints why she is the way she is. It explains her personality and behavior to this point. It even revealed that her special leaf age is something she's had for a while. It wasn't some random thing she just manifested out of nowhere. I especially love a detail that I did not include in the summary portion. Back when Liko and Sprigatito battled together for the first time, all the way back at the beginning of the series, Sprigatito hesitated to attack when Liko told her to. At the time, we all probably just assumed that Sprigatito was refusing to listen to Liko, considering how Sprigatito acted back then. However, it turns out that this hesitation was because Sprigatito was afraid of her power. Really makes you wonder if the writers were just clever enough to retroactively add more meaning to things Sprigatito did in the past, or if they had a clear vision right from the start and they have just been playing their cards close to the chest, patiently waiting for the moment to reveal the truth, all while providing small nuggets of evidence here and there that would all eventually make sense. In any case, masterful writing. This extends to Marnia as well. They were able to make an entirely new character blend seamlessly and believably into established history and moments. All this amazing storytelling culminated in a touching and beautiful story that allowed Liko and Sprigatito to become even better friends. They took a big step towards one day, maybe, being able to rival the incredible bond of their predecessors Ash and Pikachu. They even got a new move that perfectly symbolizes how their trust and belief in one another can bend unfavorable odds in their favor. Plus, much like Fuecoco learning Disarming Boys, it's a move that suits Sprigatito's final evolution. Finally, it's cool that Spidops appeared in the anime for the first time, even if it did not do much. Also, this episode made me realize that Sneasel and Weavile are cats, which I somehow did not realize before. So, overall, this episode was fantastic. I honestly might need to reassess what I said last review about the previous episode being the best one of the year thus far. A powerful story mixed with superb writing, leading to a strong and meaningful resolution, ensure this episode's greatness and make it one to remember. But that's the review and the video. Click on the links on screen now to see my reviews of the previous 3 episodes. I will see you over there. Thank you so very much for watching.